Whenever you're ready.
When I talked with my friends yesterday, my friend said if I find someone who is really, really nice and gentle, and if I want to get married with him, and I will live together before marriage. Actually, I was very surprised because it's not really common in Korea. So I'm going to talk about cultural difference in cohabitation between USA, France, and Korea. So first, I will introduce you about the culture, cohabitation culture in USA and France, and then I will introduce our Korea societies. First, in France, it's estimated that 40 to 50% of couples who get married have already cohabitated for up to 2 years. And also cohabitation rate is very higher than marriage rate. That means cohabitation is very common in French society. And also in USA, cohabitation in US has increased by more than 1,500% in the past half century. So in 1960, about 450,000 unmarried couples lived together. So now the number is more than 7.5 million. So, and more than a half of all marriages will be processed by cohabitation. Why do they live together before marriage? They might say because they could test their relationship in terms of sexuality or their personality. Because if they find something they don't like, it's too late to go back if they get married. And also, it's lawyers' cost. They live together and they save the rental fee, or if they buy something, groceries or something like that, then they could save the money. So it's very common in France and USA. And also in France, there is this law, which is PSCS, and it protects the individual rights of each party and entitles partners to share property rights and enjoy income tax benefits. So that this law protects the couples who inhabited, even though they are same-sex marriage or different-sex marriage. So it means in France it's very common, and after this law, the rates became higher than before. But when I heard and searched many explanation or this, why they do this, and I heard it's very good method, way to get to know each other. But there was a little bit weird effect. Couples who cohabit before marriage tend to be less satisfied with their marriage and more likely to divorce than couples who do not. So some results of research show this kind of effect. So So now you know that in France and in USA, cohabitation is very common and very general, general phenomenon. But then now I'm going to talk about Korea case. But I saw the graph of related to OECD countries. The percentage of marriage and among OECD countries on average, they married 54%, and among them 7% of people cohabitated before. Whereas Korean people get married 57%, but almost no one's habitated before. But surprisingly, divorce rates was #1 among OECD countries. I couldn't find any correlation between cohabitation and divorce rate. But it could be one of the reasons why they divorce afterwards. And there was no legal system for unmarried couple, unlike France case. It means, and yesterday I texted my mom and I asked, "Mom, let me ask you something." "Yes, tell me." It's just because my presentation, so don't misunderstand. What if I tell you I'm gonna cohabit between marriage? What will you do? What will you say? And she said, never.
Never.
Don't do that, never. You shouldn't. And I said, why? Then you shouldn't be my daughter. Stop being my daughter, and then do that.
My mother said same thing.
Yeah, yesterday I was so funny. And she tried to convince me not to go for marriage. It was so funny. And she said her friends around her said same thing as her. So I knew it was so that's general and not common in Korea. Maybe it's not agreeable to Korean sentimental. And then maybe the time is not right yet. Yeah, so I couldn't do that. And then maybe I thought one of the reasons is this chastity ideology. In the past, the standard, or in the past, the standard is very strict to women, and if especially women should get married only one person in their life, and they should give their virginity to their first husband. So if they give their virginity to husband, they shouldn't get married, even though their husband died. So there is there is very famous statue called Mangbuseok. But in this story, woman stood waiting for her husband, but husband seemed never coming back. So she stood up and until she turned to stone like this, and it symbolized her virginity, or her like this charity ideology, and it delivered this charity ideology